1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2. What's going on, everyone? This is Derrick Broze, and this is the weekly Broze for Mayor Townhall Livestream number 7. So this is the 7th week in a row that I've been doing this every Friday at noon, taking your questions, updating you on what's going on with the campaign. And this week we've got lots to talk about, but before we do that, I would like to remind you guys to share this video. If you can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up, let me know you can hear me fine. And then share this video if you're part of any groups, any pages that you think might be concerned with the issues that we're talking about, the 9 core issues that we're raising, as well as other issues that I'm bringing to the mayoral race here in Houston. Then please do share this with your friends and yeah, share it out there. This is how we're going to continue to reach new people. As we move forward, we are now in July 5th. So July 5th, August, September, October, November 5th is the election day here in Houston. So that's 4 months away. We have 4 months to continue to educate the people of Houston about the issues that I'm raising, to continue to share new ideas, to encourage and activate people to get involved in their communities, and to understand why we don't have to wait for the city council or the local corporations to take care of us, that we as free, powerful, beautiful people can step up to the plate and make a difference in our communities right now. Well, every day, every moment of every day. All it takes is for us to get involved. So with all that said, again, please do share this video if you don't mind, whether you're watching it live or later. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to put those questions in the comments and I will get to them today, because this, the whole goal of this is not just to educate you guys about what we have going on in the campaign and what the latest activities are, but I do want this to be a two-way conversation where you can ask me about the issues. We've had, since the very beginning, since we first started doing these live streams, we've had people reach out and say, what do you think about this issue, Derrick? Or how do you feel about this topic? Or how would you handle this situation? And that's what I love to do. I want to hear more of your thoughts and ideas, and for us to figure out how we can work together and collaborate together. Because this is not just about me as an individual running to get my name out there or to get my issues out there. This is about us collaborating together and figuring out how we can work together on these important issues. So let's do that. All right, so what happened in the last week since last Friday's Town Hall live stream right here on the Derrick Broze for Mayor of Houston page? We had a busy week last week. All last week we were doing 7 events in 7 days, and once again, thank you to everybody who took part and participated in that. We did an interview, we went to city council, we volunteered with Food Not Bombs, we cleaned up the bayou. I held a 5G teach-in, which, by the way, I posted the notes to my 5G teach-in, can be found on derrickbroze.com under our blog page. We had a concert, an event fundraiser with Motion Hotel and my friend Jack Sparrow playing some music at Midtown Bar and Grill last Saturday. And then on Sunday, some of our community members, our volunteers, hit the streets of Herman Park and passed out flyers about our campaign and generally raised awareness on what we're doing. And by the way, we do have some really big posters, and like big posters and smaller posters for those of you who might have businesses or just want to put them up in your window, or if you know a business in your side of town that's willing to put up one of our campaign posters. It's just a big poster that lists the 9 different issues we're focused on. Please do reach out to me. And also, because of everybody's support last week, because not only was it 7 events in 7 days, we were doing a 7-day money bomb trying to raise funds, and we had success, yay, celebration. We're going to be in the race till November 5th. I am going to officially file once filing opens on July 19th, I believe is the date, and we will be in this race, the mayoral race here in Houston, until the very end. And I've already been accepted into 5 or 6 debates starting this month. I'm supposed to be in the Pride Forum, which is going to include some of the other candidates. And then in August, September, and October, there will be other debates / forums that I'm going to be a part of. And I'm really excited about that. But again, thank you to everybody who participated in our 7 events in 7 days. Thank you to everybody who volunteered. Thank you to everybody who donated to our campaign money bomb, because it's allowing us to keep spreading awareness and doing good things, and to printing out new posters, making yard signs. We're going to get some big street signs. We're going to get banners. We're going to get all that important stuff in the coming days and weeks so that we can start putting our message out there. It's a little frustrating to go around the city and just see Sylvester Turner and Tony Busby and Bill King, and now Dwight Boykins has his signs out there. So we want to do our part to make sure that the people of Houston, when they see bros for mayor and they hear us on the streets talking to them and sharing these ideas, that they're making the connection and they're realizing, oh wait, maybe there are more than just 4 people running for office, even though the local media keeps telling me there's only 4 people running. Maybe there is more that I should learn. Maybe I should get more involved. Maybe I should educate myself better. This is our goal of what we're trying to build here. So with your help, we are able to do that. And yeah, so we had a successful week last week. Yesterday was July 4th, and myself and a few people went downtown to Eleanor Tinsley Park and Sam Houston Park, and we were there for 3.5, 4 hours, passing out flyers, talking to people at the official City of Houston July 4th celebration. And just a couple of thoughts on that. I have a couple of issues with this event. I think that it's extremely important for us as individuals and us as a city to put our money where our mouth is, I guess you could say, or to think in terms of, think holistically is what I like to call it, and think about what it means to, support corporations or businesses that don't align with your values, right? Many of us understand on the individual level that we say, well, I don't like Monsanto, for example, so I'm not going to buy Roundup, or I'm not going to buy any of their products. And we understand the value that that has. And then at the same time, you have on the city level, where the city, I believe, could take a similar step. The city could say, well, we're not going to partner with businesses. We're not going to sign contracts with businesses that are destructive to the environment, that are unsustainable, that are participating in war or things of that sort. Most of us in Houston are aware that Houston's wealth is dependent on oil and gas, the oil and gas industry. Many of you probably work in the oil and gas industry in one area or another. And that's fine for the moment. But I think that the reality is that as a city, and for me as a mayoral candidate, it's important to say, I would not support contracts or businesses or hosting official city celebrations like the July 4th celebration, where the sponsors are Citgo, Walmart, Bud Light, and Dr. Pepper. The thing about that is that those corporations, those companies, they do not represent values that I believe in, and I don't think they should be supporting or representing the city of Houston. Now, let's say Dr. Pepper, sodas in general, filled with sugar, filled with, some would say, poison, leading more and more Americans and Houstonians, supposed to be the fattest city in America, towards diabetes. Walmart coming into many communities and destroying mom and pop businesses, as well as trying to go down and build in indigenous areas down in Central and South America. Citgo, again, another oil and gas company. We see this with Exxon, the Exxon Valdez spill. We see the city partner with BP, the BP oil spill here in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me that the city of Houston should be spending any taxpayer dollars or working at all with these corporations that don't align with the values that I believe Houstonians care about. The mayor and the current administration, they like to promote this idea that Houston is moving towards being a green city and being sustainable and this sort of thing, but I don't buy it. I think it's a false greenwashing, as some people would put it. If we want to actually stand with the environment, then we need to vote with our dollar as individuals and as a city. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be putting out our full Hemp Houston plan, where we want to not only encourage decriminalizing cannabis and encouraging cannabis, decriminalize cannabis and encouraging cannabis businesses, but we want to encourage hemp farming in the city, because hemp is now legal in Texas. Imagine that. Now the government is giving you permission. I think you should be able to do it no matter what, but at the very least, now the state won't bother you. And so we could encourage Houston to become the capital of hemp farming in the state of Texas. And along with that, along with the Hemp Houston initiative, we can start to partner. I was talking with a buddy yesterday at July 4th outreach. He's an engineer who's worked in the oil and gas field. He wants to use his engineering skills and knowledge with hemp and to work towards using hemp as a fuel, so we can get away from fossil fuels and get away from the oil and gas industry, which are unsustainable and are destructive towards the environment and invasive. So my goal here, my point is that we could encourage cannabis for medicine. We have this huge medical center. We could encourage that. We could encourage it for recreation. We could stop locking people up and putting people in jail and ruining their lives for a plant, and at the same time encourage a brand new industry as we shift away from fossil fuels and unsustainable business practices, and we say the city is no longer going to partner with those type of corporations. We're going to start, ending those partnerships and moving towards encouraging hemp production, hemp farming, hemp for fuel, hemp for textiles, hemp for all kinds of things, and completely revolutionize and transform the city. So vote with your dollar, encourage hemp, and Hemp Houston is what we're calling it, and then clean up the bayou. I'm gonna be, you're gonna hear me talking more and more about this in the coming weeks and months. It's gonna become a bigger part of my campaign. And yeah, so I just wanted to give that little rant of why it's just so frustrating to me to see these city events that are sponsored by, beer companies, sugary diabetes soda companies, Walmarts, and oil companies. I get that this is the Petro Metro, but maybe it's time to change that. Maybe it's time to start actually living with our values, because we as individuals, and say we, the city administration, they can't expect people to, it's hard for them to come to the people and say, we want you to hold yourself to a certain standard if the city's not going to hold themselves to that standard. Do you know what I mean? I, as an individual, am always trying to elevate myself and to grow, to become better than the day before and the moment before. Obviously, I'm not a perfect human being, so I fail and I have flaws like anybody. But the goal is always to be the best version of myself. And I want us as individuals, as Houstonians, and as a city to encourage everybody to be the best version of themselves. And how can we talk about that if we still have a city administration that's living in the past and is partnering with these oil companies and these, just shitty businesses? I'll just say it. I don't think we can. So those thoughts were all in my head yesterday while we were out there passing out flyers at the July 4th celebration. And I do want to say on that note, we did have a lot of good conversations with individuals on the streets. I actually talked to several firefighters. Now, just briefly about the whole firefighters thing. Most of you who are paying attention to Houston politics, you're aware that the firefighters have been a big issue in the city this year because of Proposition B and because the mayor not wanting to pay the firefighters and give them their raise that the city of Houston voted for. And you see Bill King and Tony Busby, these other candidates, going to the fire stations and making sure to get their photo ops and their selfies with the firefighters so it can be like, look, we're out there, we're supporting the firefighters, like boo the mayor and this and that. And I feel the same way. I actually, most people don't know this, but when I graduated high school early in the middle of my senior year, and I started going to community college right away because I wanted to be a firefighter. That was my original kind of goal or plan. I wanted to be a firefighter mainly because I also wanted to be a stuntman and I wanted to break the world's record for being lit on fire the longest time, and I figured being a firefighter would be good training. But my point is, I'm down for firefighters. In fact, I typically would support firefighters over supporting giving money to cops. And I told these firefighters that themselves, and actually had one of the firefighters, shout out to you, I won't name you, but shout out to the firefighter that I talked to yesterday who came up to me and said he'd seen my work on 5G. He was aware of who I was and what I was talking about. He was super excited about this, and he said he was going to spread the word to some of the other firefighters on his team and some of the other people that he worked with. So I'm excited about that. And overall, I just love getting to the streets because we run into people. I see old friends. People are, well, you're running for mayor? Oh, you're talking about these things? And all it takes, I really feel, my friends, all it takes is for me to have a conversation with people, or our team to have a conversation with people. These ideas sell themselves because these are ideas that people truly care about. Somebody was looking at our flyer and he said, these are the only issues I care about, and that's what we're trying to connect. We're not looking for the typical voters in Houston. Most of the people that we are reaching, I've heard this over and over again in the last 2 months now, most of the people that we're reaching are saying things like, I've never voted before, but I'm going to vote for you, or now I want to get involved, or I should start paying attention, because we're reaching the non-traditional individual who don't typically pay attention to what's going on locally. And that's what I want. I don't want to just reach the same old, same old. I want us to show that there's a new class of Houstonians that are concerned with what's going on in the city. They're not your typical voter who's established money and donated to campaigns. These are college-aged individuals. These are working class 20 and 30-year-olds. These are older folks in the city who are sick of the same old, same old. And we have a good range of volunteers and people. Some of the people on our team are in their 50s and 60s. Some of the people that are on our team are in college right now, and everything in between. I myself am 34 years old, so we've got a good median range of people. While the other candidates are typically just focused on the older generation of people who are voting in the city. What we're going to build is going to be something that's never been seen before in Houston politics. We're going to build this grassroots movement, creating a groundswell from the bottom up and moving on until the media, people like Isaiah Carey and Chauncey Glover and Greg Brugan and some of these other journalists, we're going to build a movement that they cannot ignore. They can keep ignoring us now for the moment, but we are going to keep hitting the streets. We're going to keep hosting events. We're going to keep going out there and getting involved and showing people what it looks like when community takes care of itself, and we don't sit around and wait for presidents, for governors, or for mayors to take care of ourselves. Because I'm not running for mayor to tell you that I'm here to save the day and fix all your problems, or that I'm going to, make the government fix things for you. I'm running to say, how about we use the government, the local government, as a tool to protect and defend the people's liberties and the people's freedoms, and as a way to encourage positive community action. So that's what I'm trying to do, and that's what we've been doing. We've been having a lot of success, but at this point, all we need to do is get in front of as many people as possible, and you can help us with that. So even if you can't donate to the campaign, don't worry about it. Share this video. Share the videos you see us putting out every week on the issues. We're also now putting out new quotes from myself on the different issues that we're going to be releasing every day for the coming weeks. Share those out. They're very simple memes, graphics. People can digest the quote really easily, and if they want to go further, they can look at the website or they can watch the videos. So that's what we're doing now, and that's what I need with help from you. I also want to encourage anybody who's interested. We do have a volunteer group. I'll post it below. It's just called Broze for Mayor Volunteer Group. And if you're truly interested in being involved and you want to help hit the streets, or you want to figure out how you can support us in some way, I encourage you to join that group. We're going to be having a volunteer meetup on Sunday evening at 4 o'clock. So join that group if you want to find out more about that. And what's coming up? We'll be hitting the Bayou next week. We're going to do another Bayou cleanup with the Buffalo Bayou initiative or partnership or something along those lines. Looks like a really good program, a good organization that's out there just cleaning up the bayou and helping people get educated about what's going on in their city, in the bayou. So we'll be doing that next week. I am supposed to either be speaking to Cannabis Reform of Houston later this month, or I will be participating in that Pride Forum on July 18th. But we'll get all these details out, and you'll see me posting about it in the coming weeks. Other than that, we are planning to do another benefit concert, fundraiser this month. We're trying to set up events to speak to student groups in the coming months. I'm also interested in speaking to PTAs. So if you are a parent and you live in the city of Houston, even if you don't live in the city of Houston, I would love to come talk to you about 5G and about mandatory vaccinations and some of the issues that specifically are going to affect parents of young kids. We want to start speaking to the PTAs. We want to speak to the HOAs. And to pretty much any neighborhood community group that we can talk to. If you've got leads on that, if you've got contacts, email me at derrickbroze4mayor@protonmail.com. Derrick Broze for mayor, all one word, @protonmail.com. And if you want to set up an event for me to come speak to your community, feel free to reach out about that as well. We're just trying to get out here to the streets and talk to as many people as possible over the next 4 months. Like I said, it's July 5th. The election is November 5th. The deadline to register to vote is October 5th. You've got 3 months to register to vote. I had to go do it just the other day. It's the first time I registered to vote in 15, 16 years. I registered one time when I was 18, and that was the only time. And now I had to register to vote so I could be in this race. And if you care about voting for me, then go ahead and get registered to vote. If not, that's fine too, because as I've said before, to me, a victory in this, the way we are going to win, is not necessarily by electing Derrick Broze for mayor of Houston. The way we are going to win is come November 5th and November 6th, when we look around and we see that we've reached thousands and tens of thousands of people around the city, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of people around the city over the next months and over the next years. That's when we will know we will have won. We're already winning. The fact that Tony Busby and Dwight Boykins and these other candidates are willing and wanting to talk about 5G because I've been pushing it for 10 months, because you guys have been sharing the content, that shows that we are winning. We are changing the conversation in Houston, and that is why I'm in this race. That is what I wanted to do. And we can do bigger things with your help if you keep spreading the word. I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. Unless there's any questions, then I will sign off for the day. I did see one question. I don't know anything about voting, but I like the way you think. I'm in California, and am I able to vote for you, or only people in Texas? Only people in the city of Houston in Texas. I do appreciate your support, though. And as I said, whether or not you can vote for me, you can still spread the content. And this is what I want people who are watching this and hearing this to understand. We have the support of people all across the country, all across the world, and it's growing every day. So even if you're not in Houston, if you can donate financially, that helps out. If you can share videos, that helps out. If you can invite any of your friends to like the page, that helps out. Let's keep growing this. This page is going past 800. We're going to have 1,000 likes before you know it. And as it keeps growing, we're going to be reaching more and more people via social media and on the streets. And by putting the yard signs out and the street signs and the banners, people are going to keep seeing Broze for mayor. Broze for mayor. Houston, we have a problem solver. Broze for mayor. Imagine a different Houston. These things are going to start to stick in their head, and eventually they're going to go visit DerrickBroze.com. They're going to visit Derrick Broze for mayor of Houston on Facebook. They're going to find out about this campaign. They're going to get involved, or they're going to tell their friends who can get involved, and we are going to change the conversation in Houston. But it starts with you guys helping me out. So let's do it. Let's do it together. Let's work together to change this city. How about that? Let's do something different. Let's not just be used to the same old thing. Let's work together to transform the city of Houston. It's time to imagine a different Houston. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye for today, guys. Please share this video with your friends. Invite them to check out all of our other content. And until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.